Hey, this is what should have been. That's what should have been. Don't worry, that's coming. It's coming. The government is just mad. They are so mad. Diddy will be out on Tuesday. Don't worry about it. Y'all want to hold him for a couple more days until the sentencing. All right. We see what y'all on. Get it, Diddy. Get it, Diddy. Hey, look. Let's let it be known. While all these doggone people are in panic mode right now, these fools are spiraling. Guess what they doing now? They are so spiraling. They in here coming up with the craziest taglines in the world. They mad. They big mad. What you mad for? What you mad for, big bro? I don't understand it. What's the hold up, big swole up? Like you said. To the guy that used to talk about sports. You were wrong. You should have just stopped right there. I was wrong. That's all you had to say. I thought he would have. You've been out of 10 bands right now. Now look, the federal government is playing games. They got egg on their face in the worst way. All the people sitting outside camping. Oh, the best part is teaser tails. Oh, they got you too. Oh yeah, what you thought I forgot? Oh no, they got you too. And I need to see the whole entire video. The whole shebang-a-bang. Because it was wonderful to see them come get you. But hit the like button coming through the door. It's your boy Carcino here. We have a lot to discuss. I want y'all to see something.
Think about Rico. I think as much like you, the jury had very ignorant, acted ignorant. You calling the jury ignorant? No, I'm saying the way you came up on me is ignorant. Well, I've been looking for you because that's what journalists do. Maybe here I am. So, what do you think about the Rico? What about all of the lies? I think I'm on lies. Okay, right now. That's what I thought. This is a liar, y'all. This is a lie. I hope. Tisa, tell us, what do you have to say about lying on Diddy every day? You came out here and lied on it. We just want to get your reaction. You said he was going to prison. He might be coming home. Just want to get your reaction. What do you think about the Rico? I think as much like you, the jury had very ignorant, acted ignorant. You calling the jury ignorant? No, I'm saying the way you came up on me is ignorant. Well, I've been looking for you because that's what journalists do. Maybe here I am. So, what do you think about the Rico? What about all of the lies? I think I'm on lies. Okay, now. This is a liar, y'all.
Yeah. People, Cino got people everywhere. you ain't in the country. You're lucky you ain't in the country. You somewhere hiding in the dirt village in a hut, surrounded by 30, 40 doggone pit bulls. All that dog mess and dog food going to your brain. Wasn't allowing you to think. Pig raising, turtle raising, dog raising. Person out here being surrounded in that confined space with all that damn dog mess going in your brain, son. You're not seeing things clearly. Hit the like button up. Hit the like button up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he milking it. Go on ahead, milk it, homie. Milk it. Milk it for the next couple of days till it's over. Then you're gonna have to what? Talk about the weather? Go on and milk it. Now let's get to this. They decided today, the judge decided to keep Diddy in jail. Deny him bail. On a weak ass Mann Act that didn't involve minors. All this is historic trash. So I'm going to tell you everything that went on in the courtroom. See, unlike those other fools, we tell you exactly what's going on in the courtroom. And I say fools, meaning the people who were fools, who was out here not doing their job, just in here doing by agendas. As you can see, this emotional, goddamn dumb bastard, he ain't got all emotional. He in there, Diddy facing up to 20 years. He found guilty on 2 counts. And he's getting facing up to 20 years. Let's see how much time he do. Let's see what I said. He gonna appeal that. Let's see what happens when he get released on Tuesday. They just want to mess up his 4th of July weekend. Like, yeah, we gonna mess up his 4th of July. But you can't hold him for this. There's no way you could deny this man bail. You have no grounds. But okay. Somebody sent me something. I'm like, what the hell? Oh, they want us to team up? Yeah, well, whatever. Let's get to the case so we can see what's going on here. So at 4:59 p.m. Eastern Time in the courtroom, Combs' lawyer, Brian Steele and Jason Driscoll are parting. They're patting each other on the back. Agnifino is in the holding cell with Diddy. His family is in the first row of the gallery. 5:04 p.m. Combs' lawyer Agnifino, Alexandria Shapiro, and Tenny Garagos emerged from the holding cell, still waiting for Sean Combs to be brought into the courtroom by the U.S. Marshals. So 5:09 p.m. goes down. Sean Combs comes in. He's sitting next to Tenny. He's reading something. Agnifino walks over to the lecture, right? Then back over to his seat. Prosecutors are in place at the front table, waiting on Judge Subramanian. So the judge comes in, right? And he says, I've read the party submissions and others. The jury convicted the defendant on 3 counts and on count 3 and 5. For the following reasons, bail is denied. And they said, even if the defendant was solely required to show that he's not a danger to the community, he could not meet that burden. Prior to trial, the court denied bail and sees no reason to reverse that now. The defense concedes the defendant's violence. His violence is depicted in the video of Cassie Ventura. That was in 2016, Judge. I told you, this judge is so weak. The defense admitted this is a terrible moment. Domestic violence is the issues, is what she said. It wasn't only that. There was the London hotel incident. There was the violence after the searches in this case. As to Jane, there was June 2024, after the searches of Combs' residence. This evidence, a discard for the law and propensity for violence. The court takes no position on what is considered as sentencing, nor what sentence it will impose. But here, the burden is on him, and he cannot carry it. The defense argued the guideline starts at 21 months. The U.S. says 51 months. He's done 10. I'll set sentencing for Friday, October 3rd at 10 a.m. I am willing to expedite it. And Agnifino said, we would like it expedited. And the judge said, we will read an expedited pre-sentencing report from probation, but I will be available at any time. Like I told you, weak ass judge. There is a great divide in our sentencing guideline. I see that Miss Comey has her statute book open. The rule required the pre-precautionary of the report, absent a reasoned waiver. Probation may be available to expedite. Update me by July the 8th at noon. And the judge said, and we hold a hearing on the afternoon of July the 8th. And Agnifino, he said, Your Honor, has a lot of information from proceeding over the trial. We want the sentencing as soon as possible. Other Mann Act cases, there's nothing remotely similar to this. The case we're reviewed involving defendants making money, millions, or involved minors, that's different here. The difference are the total facts of the case. Exactly what I said, right? Didn't I tell you that this isn't a case that required minors? Told you that the first video we did. So how are they making a special ruling for this? They said that's different. Here are the facts from our letter. See the United States versus Dillon. I cover it here in the letter, which he did. Then there was a Emperor Club case of a former governor of New York. We understand that is moving quickly. The issue for us is if we'd had more time, we could have shown extraordinary circumstances. And the judge said, you conceded violence in your closing. Whether that's relevant to sentencing is not for today, but it can be considered on a bail application. in June of 2024, there was an argument that Mr. Combs was defending himself. Mr. Combs tried to get into a batter's program in New York. That's what the judge said. The jury never heard that. Then he got arrested. All these months later, here we are, the same drive to meet the head on, like the self-represented businessman he is. And Mr. Agnifino says he's been a model prisoner. There has been no issues. He's going to have the next chapters of his life. When you're charged with racketeering, you have dark talks. When I was reading the Mia message for his birthday, I had a hard time doing it. His children are here. His two daughters, they're in the middle of the second row. They no longer have their living mother here. Yeah, the user of prostitution services has been convicted under the Mann Act. He was acquitted of violence for sex trafficking. He was acquitted of violence for sex trafficking. He wants to talk to you. So did he want to talk to the judge now? And the judge said, okay, check Ms. Comey. And then she's like, his brazenness is almost unmatched. To suggest it was self-defense is insulting. He slapped her in the shoulder. He had drugs in his New York City hotel room. He invited Jane. Slapped her in the shoulder is the words that came out of her mouth. I swear to God. Hit the like button. Slapped her in the shoulder? I ain't slapping nobody in the shoulder. Damn. He slapped her in the shoulder. Oh, you ain't getting bail. You violent. Slapped her in the shoulder. Now, if you hit on the arm, then that's a light thing. But you slapped her in the shoulder. This is tragic. Oh, it gets worse. When she said he slapped her in the shoulder, he had drugs in his hotel room. He invited Jane. And Agnifino said we could craft conditions. Would the court be open to us putting together a bail package? I am happy to do so. Judge said the bail application is denied. We'll receive, hopefully, a joint proposal and expediting sentence on Tuesday at a hearing at 2 p.m. Man, they got pissed. They got so pissed. He was, what? And it was like, court adjourned. We'll see you guys next week. So he's pissed. And this is why I always say, when you're not doing things the right way, it always come back to the light. They went back to the kettlebell on Diddy. Mm-mm-mm. It's a hard thing to see when someone is out here denying someone justice. They're exposing themselves and opening themselves up more and more to the corruptness and what's going on. I'm serious. They opening themselves up to the corruption. Hmm. Oh, the energy is still there. It's just we've had a long day. Now, what's gonna happen now? On Tuesday, they're gonna have to give him bail. They just want all this attention of the 4th of July weekend, Diddy going home to throw the party, because they just want to rain on Diddy's parade because he's not guilty and Diddy is stunting on him and flexing. They don't like that. They hurt. They are all hurt. Diddy's stunting. He's stunting on them, baby. Yeah. Go Harlem. Get it, Diddy. Yeah. Go ahead, Diddy. Go ahead, Diddy. Go ahead, Diddy. Styling on them. Yeah. Get them lion hoes. Yeah. Dance on them, Diddy. Dance on them. Hit the like button up. Hit the like button up. All the lies they've been telling you. That's the part that get me upset with everybody else. Anybody could be wrong on anybody could be wrong in how they see the case. But there's no way you could tell me you could look at this case and didn't see that Diddy was innocent and they had no evidence on Diddy. None. Like the results is a shock. He should have been cleared on all charges. If it wasn't for the Mann Act, which is ridiculous, like it needs to be modified. It needs to be gone completely. The Mann Act needs to be modified to modern times again because it's hurtful. And in this case, you see it rear its head, and never in any case in history, this is the only case the Mann Act is used for something that's bringing somebody who's consensually going to do what he wants to do, he or she wants to do. So now, if you fly your girl out, you got to be careful. You ain't committing the Mann Act. You flew across state line for y'all to have sex in the Maldives. Okay? No, you took her to Bora Bora to blow her back out. It's like, I took her to Bora Bora. She was screaming she want more and more. And now I'm going to jail. Yeah, I saw signs in that too. Great Kendrick thing. I saw how he was positioning himself in that. And once again, it's like he has an agenda. He could be bought. And anybody that could be bought you've already exposed your integrity. Right. I had to get away from that person effective immediately. Once I saw all I needed to see. He was not replying to information. He was looking to push an agenda. Like even now, he's focusing on he can face up to 20 years. He's found guilty on 2 counts. Call it like it is. Call it like it is, bro. Call out the prosecution. Call out the government. Tell them what they did. I give out the information, not emotion. Information. They didn't do their job, bro. They were terrible. They had no evidence. They had zero evidence in the case. Zero. They're sore losers. Now, they said they wanted Diddy fans are some sore losers, bro. No, we're not sore losers. We're talking about justice. See, what you're not understanding that if they would have had a guilty plea in here, this breaks the law in so many different scales. This changes the law. The fact that he was even charged with this nonsense is a crime. This was a waste of taxpayers' dollars. They wasted the government's time. They wasted the court's time. They wasted our time. They wasted everybody's time. Mm-hmm. Well, when you look at the situation, you'll start to figure it out for yourself, right? Because all they did was make the opinion. I got that Diddy check. Nah, it ain't no Diddy check. Diddy don't even know I'm defending him. Hell, his family don't know. None of them know. It's not about that. It's about, this was about you. This was about man. See, that man that gotta go, because see, that's gonna affect me. It's gonna affect you. It's gonna affect any man out here. Now they made it like woman too, but it's gonna affect men the most. This law hurts you. This law puts you in the crosshairs of the federal government, and you'll be up for whenever they feel like. They'll call you to RICO because you and her popped a Zan. Drug distribution, RICO charges. It's like, what? They can do it now. That's why this is why this case was very important for out here trying to run around and act as if this is about some justice for Cassie, somebody they didn't give 2 damns about. Let's see how much they support Cassie now that the case is over. They ain't thinking about no damn Cassie at all. Yes, earlier today. Oh. All right, Diddy's lawyer.
It's a great victory. It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system. You saw that the Southern District of New York prosecutors came at him with all that they had. They're not stopping, but one thing stands between all of us and a prison, and that is a jury of 12 citizens. And we had a wonderful jury. They listened to every word, and they got the situation right, or certainly right enough. They acquitted him of the sex trafficking, which he was absolutely innocent of. They acquitted him of the racketeering conspiracy that he was absolutely innocent of, and
Correct.
all of the components to it. The kidnapping, he was innocent of that.
Yeah. Uh-oh, here they come with the sabotage. Here they come with the sabo.
Thank you all for being patient. Am I speaking loud enough? You all can hear me okay?
Confronting.
All right. Today's a great victory. It's a great victory for Sean Combs. It's a great victory for the jury system. You saw that the Southern District of New York prosecutors came at him with all that they had. They're not stopping, but one thing stands between all of us and a prison, and that is a jury of 12 citizens. And we had a wonderful jury. They listened to every word, and they got the situation right, or certainly right enough. They acquitted him of the sex trafficking, which he was absolutely innocent of. They acquitted him of the racketeering conspiracy that he was absolutely innocent of, and all of the components to it. The kidnapping, he was innocent of that.
The arson, he was innocent of that. You know why? Because they realized that they had no evidence. Circumstantial evidence is not evidence. The fact that no police were called in these incidents, he was not found guilty. You keep trying to put arson on the man when he's not, has none of his evidence ties him to arson. Him saying a text message, man, I'll blow your car up. And then some bottle thrown in the car that has female DNA on it that Kid Cudi himself did not follow up on. I try to tell y'all got to pay attention to the case. Remember y'all thought the guns was enough? I tried to tell you. This is why you got to listen to the evidence in the case. You can't go by what you think you know. They got him on guns. He's good. No. Because one, it's about the collection of the evidence. They had no way of knowing, was that gun found in this room? They're saying it is. But when they collected the evidence, the box where they found the guns in is not collected in the evidence. When they took the picture of the room, that box isn't in there. And the person on the stand, you can't even get the right person on the stand. That person wasn't even the one to come up there. What was he up there for? The jury, the prosecution was so poor. So poor. State charges is coming. How you gonna go from a federal court to a state court? Trying to OJ them, huh? OJ get the victory, then they take him to civil court. They lose there, they take him to the damn tennis court. Come on, you're guilty, Negro. Come on, Diddy, you know you did it. It's like, come on, man, stop. Shouts out to Brian Steele. He got, well, I wouldn't say he saved Young Thug's life, though. Got him out that situation. But Brian Steele, man, that guy's incredible. If I ever get Diddy money, I'm getting that legal team on requirement. I was like, look, we getting this legal team right here. And fifth, while you doing all that talking, you gonna need Agnifino in the future. You better recognize. You better recognize. Wake up and recognize. See, if Jonathan Majors had bread like that, instead of walking in New York with that doggone Indian lady, that wasn't gonna cut it for you. You needed Agnifino. And you needed all 8 of them damn lawyers to come in there. Lakers got Aiden, good. Now they got their person to blame. Big Gene deal. Yeah, he 3 hots in a cop. Yeah, Diddy gonna get found guilty. He gonna do 20 years. He gonna do 10 years. See, Gene, this is what I keep talking about. You have a real discrepancy against Diddy, and it clouds your judgment. You couldn't look at this case for what it was. You just want Diddy to go to jail. You just want Diddy to be Diddy the bad guy, and Diddy do all this stuff. And it's good for you because it makes money, but it hurts your credibility as just an integrity, right? People looking at you thinking, okay, Gene is somebody who's done wrong and this and that. He gonna talk about this situation. Diddy right now just trying to come on. He ain't worrying about what clown's saying on YouTube. Because, you know, you got, if that's the case, you got Art of Dialogue, you got Vlad, you got Tisa Tales, you got all these people who's still gonna be talking as if the case ain't over. No, you just have to wait till the 8th. So it bought them more time. I mean, that dude probably dropped like 4 videos today already. It's 5 p.m., dog. And you've already dropped 5 videos on the same damn subject. Let that sink in. And you figure out what they're doing it for. Well, people got to recognize that there are different scenarios transpiring here. Oh yeah, people are up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at it for a different perspective. You see, what other people are not seeing is something that I'm glancing at and I'm understanding a bit here. Looking at these charts and looking at all the things that are transpiring. I'm trying to see what else we got going on. Yeah, I mean, all that stuff hurts your credibility, man. I mean, call it down the line. Call what's actually going on in the case. You know, that's why they end up backfiring on Gene Deal so much. Because he got so much Diddy hate. It blinds him to what's actually going on. I'll be like, dog, you hate Diddy so much that you can't even see what's going on in the case. Art of Dialogue talking about he's been denied bail until his sentencing on October the 3rd, 2025. Now, if that ain't some terrible, terrible information, that's crazy. Because they're meeting on the 8th. Yep. I'm sitting here doing it right now. Dealing with all these lies. Look at this. Art of Dialogue. You are turning into DJ Vlad right before our eyes. He'd be sentenced on October the 3rd, 2025. It's like clowns. They disgust me. Clowns. All they want to do is push an agenda. They don't want to face what's real. So they go ahead and push an agenda. And that's how you get situations that happen on the street like this.
Out here lied on it. We just want to get your reaction. You said he was going to prison. He might be coming home. Just want to get your reaction. What do you think about the RICO?
I think, as much like you, the jury had very ignorant,
acted ignorant. You calling the jury ignorant? No, I'm saying the way you came up on me is ignorant. Well, I've been looking for you because that's what journalists do. Maybe here I am. So, what do you think about the RICO? What about all of the lies? I think I'm on live. Okay, now. That's what I thought. Tisa Tales, what do you have to say about lying on Diddy every day? You came out here and lied on it. We just want to get your reaction. You said he was going to prison. He might be coming home. Just want to get your reaction. What do you think about the RICO? I think as much like you, the jury had very ignorant. Acted ignorant. You calling the jury ignorant? No, I'm saying the way you came up on me is ignorant. Well, I've been looking for you because that's what journalists do. Maybe here I am. So, what do you think about the RICO? What about all of the lies? I think I'm on live. Okay, now. That's what I thought. This is a liar, y'all. This is a lie. I hope she's a.
Now she deserves all of that. Yeah. They lucky the casino ain't out there. I'll be like, look, babe, what time you get off? Let's go to dinner. Let's sit down and have a dinner and let's talk. She could be, who are you? I'll be, who am I? I'm the Shogun. A shot time. And the teaser tales I'm looking for is the punk that thinks Diddy is guilty. Oh, you mean Sean Combs? Yeah. Sean Combs. Where is he? Hey, look. Oh, teaser fails. Let me tell you something about you, teaser fails. I tried to be as nice as possible. That's the beauty of this. I was as nice as I possibly was. Wasn't I nice? Wasn't I nice? I'm a very nice individual. But the fact is the facts. When you sit there and you turn the whole world against one man for your own political agendas, these are the results of that. You have definitely failed the people. And because of your failure towards the American people, this is the outcome. This is it. That's right. Get the likes buttons up. Hit them like buttons. Hit that like button. What? Hit that like button. Oh, super chat work. What? Super chat work. What? Super chat work. You got the Cash App is Carcino. You see the banner going. Yep. The Patreon is Carcino for life. Oh, I'm gonna have something real special for you on the Patreon teaser. Yeah. We gonna go in, have a little fun. You know what I mean? A little fun. You know what I mean? Just a little fun. Because here's the thing. I just can't imagine somebody who's been acquitted of trafficking, all of these things that's going on. No RICO, racketeering conspiracy is out. That means the arson, the kidnapping, all of that gone. Trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. That means no violence. He's only been found guilty of transportation. Transportation, not violence. So you're going to use violent acts that's not even been proven in a court of law, not been tried. You're going to use that to hold a man behind bars. That's not justice. I'm sorry, that's just not justice. That's not justice. Yes. We all are holding our heads and just like, how much longer are they gonna keep pushing this narrative? It's like, let it go. They won't let it go. We have a lot of us that's aggravated. A lot of us are aggravated right now. And the reason we're aggravated is because of scenarios and situations that's plaguing everyone involved. Is what we like to call bad characters. There are a lot of bad characters out here. And they moving in a dark light. And it's not looking good for anybody else that's trying to get involved and do things. So don't forget to join my Patreon channel. That's what you need to do. Don't even forget to do that because it's going up. Yeah, we got this video that's in the picture I took of Jay-Z and Beyonce. And Jay was staring me down. When Jay-Z was staring me down, I want y'all to make sure y'all look at that. Devin Haney, his girl said he was abusive during her pregnancy. All the lies. OVO is facing internal issues due to Drake. The F1 movie review. Oh man, I forgot I gotta do the Jurassic Park movie review. Exactly. So what I want for everybody out here to know is that when I'm speaking, I'm not speaking from a slant. Oh yeah, definitely go. It's the Casino for Life Patreon. The Prince stories are huge. Like Prince story part 1, we got 3 parts. 2, we got 3 parts right now cooking on the Prince stories. We got more Prince stories coming. We got some more surprises coming. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. You think this is about Diddy? You still think this is about Diddy? This is about justice. And if you're a black man, this is about you. Because while you jumping up and down, they're gonna lock your monkey ass up the same way they doing everybody else. Well, if that fool said that, then I'm Mephisto. Now, they're upset because they lost. Puff. It was all about them and their ego. And they lost. Oh, yeah. Let me get some water. Throat getting dry. The victory water. Oh. Oh. I'm saying. Oh, wow. Here we go. Hey. They told me dumb bastard was going at me today. They was dumb bastard going in on you right now. Let dumb bastard do it. Let dumb bastard enjoy himself. At the end of the day, dumb bastard has got the gas face. I admit I was wrong. You should have stopped there. I was wrong. I thought he was going to be found guilty on all the counts based on me being emotional. Not listening to anything and just coming up with stuff off my brain. I'm a dumb bastard. Ooh, wait till the Patreon, buddy. Like I said, things might move a little slower where you at. But let me inform you a little bit of something here. When you show somebody who you are, they will expose you. They will expose you, my guy. But you exposed yourself. See, the Drake thing was only the beginning. You see how that went for you. Defending Champagne Sloppy. Ugh, that water tastes nasty. My filter's clean. No, what the problem is, and that people need to come to grips with or terms with, is the fact that when people go through situations in their lives, they go through scenarios in their life that don't usually seem abundant to the rest of the world. These problems are mostly escalated to a certain level because once you do that, you're pushing the envelope. I don't care, dude. If he want money, that's fine. Say you're out to get your money. That's it. That's cool. But your integrity is everything. So when you break down this case, it's all about a case of integrity. Okay? When we go live, we talk about different things. You see, that's the uniqueness. We don't want to make the same goddamn video over and over and over and over again. I don't want to do that. Who wants to do that? And see, people like, dumb bastard, they're afraid of people like you. You know why? Because they know they just want their propaganda to stand and nobody else can have a word. No one else can say anything. So what we do, the majority of the time, is we always open the floor. Equal opportunity. Come up and speak your piece. We say, come on down. Don't sing it. Bring it. Can you smell what the signal is cooking? To the millions and the millions watching around the world. Yeah. So what's up, man? What happened to your boy?
I don't know, man, but yo, this judge don't like Diddy. He got denied bail again.
Yep.
So he might be as though he might go harsh on Diddy. He might do like 8 to 10. He's gonna do time. You can't put that past Cino. Like this judge do not like Diddy, yo. He hates Diddy and his lawyers.
It's not about him hating Diddy. This is a second-year judge. Let me tell you about it. This is a second-year judge. He's what we would call a pussy. And this is why. I mean, seriously, this is exactly why we would call him that, because he's afraid to have the decision be on him. He can't make a decision on his own. He's afraid to go against the government. The judges are really there for the prosecution. They work. They don't see these people over and over again.
They both work for the government. They both got the same employer.
Exactly. So they want to make sure they're siding with them a lot because he's a second-year guy. He's got to see these people in the building. They got to work with him. You know, he was assigned to this case for a reason. There was another judge.
They probably play golf together.
They replaced the judge and moved this judge in, who only has 2 years experience on the bench.
But Trump appointed this judge.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
If Trump appointed this judge, he made a grave mistake. But Diddy's at home, so I guess he handled it the best way he could. But this judge is very inept in his job. That's why he wouldn't call a mistrial when it was clearly a mistrial. He did not want the responsibility. See, when he gets seasoned on the bench, that means he got a rep. It's like being new on a job. You don't really know everybody there yet. You don't know what you can do and what you can't do yet. So you're like, look, I'm new on the job. I don't know who I'm cool with. Once you've been there 5-6 years, you got some seniority now. Y'all got a clique. You got your job friends. You got everybody that you clicked with. And you're like, all right, this is my clique. So whatever happens in here, I got rep. He has no rep. The judge has no juice. He's been there 2 years. He ain't got really no juice yet. So he want to try to be favorable as much as he can to the prosecution and say, hey, man, look, I was working with y'all. But
yeah, the last judge they had in there, he was Biden appointed. This is a Trump appointed judge.
Yep.
So it still doesn't look good for Diddy. This judge, he don't like him. I'm telling you, Cino, he's going to do at least 8 to 10. I'll predict 8 to 10 years. If he do 10 plus, he really don't like him. and you gotta think the government spent all this money. The government spent all these resources.
Diddy's not doing a year in jail. He's not. He's gonna be time served.
Well, he would have got bail. I disagree with you. If that's the case, he would have got bail.
All right, you disagreed with the decision before, and here we are, right? So let's get to this point here.
He would have got bail. If that's the case, he would have got bail. Cino, he's not doing no 1 year.
Listen, they're gonna talk on Tuesday, and they're gonna come up with a bail. Okay, they got a little small victory today because they get to stop him from spending time with his family on the 4th of July. That's all they wanted to have.
The bail hearing not until October.
It's the same thing that happened to Chris Brown when they said he wasn't going to get out to his trial, which is July 13th, knowing that he had a whole concert that was going to make them money, and they weren't going to allow him to do that. So they set up a higher number than what was brought up. So the number, which was like, I think it was $2 million, and they upped it to $6 million because they know he could pay for it because of his mega Super Bowl that he's doing, like stadiums overseas right now. So they know he could pay it. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to get more money out of Diddy, and this is all it is. More money, more problems. Exactly.
No, I disagree with that. They would have took the $50 million bail. That doesn't make any sense.
No,
he did not $50 million bail. So that doesn't make any sense. I'm telling you, this judge do not like Diddy. He's not coming home anytime soon.
There's no way that bill was $50 million. That's just
it was $50 million. He put homes up and everything, dude.
$50 million bill.
Yes, that was $50 million. He put houses up and everything.
There's not a $50 million bill.
Yes, it was. It was $50 million. He put houses up and stuff. They denied that.
Because he put houses up and stuff does not mean the bill was $50 million. No bill has ever been that high.
He got guilty on 2 charges. He's not coming home anytime soon. At least anytime soon.
There's no such thing as a $50 million bill like that. That's just egregious.
Yeah, that's what he denied. The same judge. What's his name? Submarinian, whatever his name is. He do not like Diddy. I keep telling y'all guys that.
Dude, stop running with this narrative of $50 million bill. That's not real. $50 million bill, that is too high. That won't even stand.
Yeah, that's what he had. That's what he before he got to trial.
Hold on, everybody. Go ahead, Ms. Sutton. What you thought about what happened?
So he shouldn't have been, it should have been not guilty all the way across, but I knew at some point that they would get him on the transportation. The man actually was gone. Yeah, however, I do think that he will get approximately like 2 years with some time served, and I'm gonna tell you why. And the reason why is because he got 2 counts of the Mann Act, but I think they run concurrently. So they wasn't like mandatory sentences. If they're not mandatory sentences, they're gonna run concurrent. On that, also the feds use a point system, and because they use a point system, and Diddy does not have a record, he would probably fit in a certain zone, like I think a zone 2 or 3 or something like that. So it's either 0 to 6 months or something to 20 months. That's the reason why Mark Affilio said we want 2 years. If it's gonna be a sentence, we're looking at 2 years, and that's why he said that, because 2 years is on the low end and 4 years is on the top end of those zones.
That's for each charge, though. He got charged twice.
So the reason why I don't think you heard what I said. I said it was not a mandatory. The sentence is not mandatory. So it says up to 10 years. It's not a maximum. It doesn't say a minimum of 10 years. But it's up to the discretion
of the judge, though. The judge can slam Diddy for 20 years.
No, the judge has to use a point system.
That's correct.
They have to use a point system. This is not state. This is fed. They have to use a point system.
But it's still up to discretion of the judge.
It doesn't matter what it's up to. He has to consider all the factors.
Hold on, Reed. Hold on, Reed. You have to listen. Don't wait for your turn to talk. Let the words penetrate through your brain. What she's actually telling you is actually wrong.
Do it, you know, they can't do it. Education.
It has to. You're right. I don't know who the team.
Can you say something?
It has to. So, in other words, what I'm saying is this: if it says, like the other ones, it said it's a mandatory life, mandatory 15 years. Those are ran concurrently. I mean, those are not ran concurrently. That means you get 15 years for that and 15 years for that. There's nothing they can do about that. But if it says up to, that means It's up to. That means that charge you get. They run concurrent, and then when they go to the sentencing part, they have to consider all these different things. They use a point system, so it's not like state. They're like, they don't like you, so they're just gonna give you 30 years. That's not how it works.
Yep, that is correct. Now you understand, Reek. So the judge cannot just say, "I don't want you to have this, and I don't like you." They gotta go by a point system.
Well, that's what they're saying. The reports are saying he's facing 20 years. So I guess they're wrong.
No, the reports. I don't know what reports you're reading. The maximum is 10 years for each charge.
So they can just run it. Tell the judge give him 10 years. So that's concurrent. So they're going to run it concurrently. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's the maximum you could get is 10 years for each charge. And they will run concurrently. Okay. And that is the max. But you have to look at the scenarios involved in that. When there's been those type of cases, it's involved minors. It involved none of that is here for the Mann Act. He's not transporting minors across state lines.
Correct.
Right. These are those who are consensual. Like if it wasn't for the Mann Act, which I told you needs to be amended, and it needs to be gone completely because it was created to.
And on top of that situation as well, so they wanted to do the sentencing thing in 6 months. That's what the Fed Comey wanted. And so the judge said, we'll just do it in 3 months. And then Filio, he said, now we need to do this expeditiously. So then that's why they're coming back next week, because Driscoll, so the judge came back and he read 2 case laws where 2 people were denied bail. But Driscoll came back and said, here's 2 cases here where this was involving children and way much worse, and they received bail. So at that very moment, the judge had to kind of like look at the situation and say, okay, wait a minute here. I mean, fair is fair. So
right.
That's why I think they're coming back next week. Now, technically, he should have gotten bail for the simple fact that they have a trafficking case of kids and women and all kinds of stuff going on, even in the States. And people get bails. And as far as Cassie is talking about, she's scared. Yeah. I don't believe for 1 minute that Cassie wrote that letter. I don't believe that, not for 1 minute. No,
that was her lawyer.
That was the lawyer that wrote. He pulled that card and he wrote that letter. And you know what? If Cassie was so scared, so she got beat up in 2016, because that's what that tape was. She got beat up in 2016. She got married in 2019. She freaked off with Diddy in 2021. Twice. Where's the scared part in?
That wasn't Cassie, not in 21.
No, Cassie
wasn't with Diddy in 2021.
Excuse me, Mr. T. I don't know your name, but Cassie did go back to and do a freak off with Diddy in 2021. Yes, she did.
That was Jane. That wasn't Cassie.
No, Jane was freaking off with him. I'm sorry, Jane went to do the freak offs with him up until he got arrested.
He sounds like a Diddy hater.
No, that wasn't Cassie, miss.
Yes, it was Cassie. It was Cassie. It was Cassie.
We saw the case. She cheated on her own man to go back and mess around with Diddy. That's what hurt her. Is that she claimed
Cassie was around in 2021.
She got R-worded.
Well,
and she only did that
that's
because
what was documented.
I think that was 2018. That was like 2018. When he raped her, supposedly he raped her.
No. Sorry, I don't know what transcripts you were listening to or what you were listening to. You might have been over there listening to Tisa Tales, but I'm gonna tell you right now that is not the truth. When they did the closing arguments, they said it, and they said it also during the thing. Cassie went back in 2021, and she slept with him again in 2021. Twice, not once, twice.
They were at a
They found it in the
party.
text messages. Cassie went back 2 times to sleep with Diddy again in New York, twice in
And that's how her
2021.
husband found out.
Personally, I think
And
the
as
reason
well, I don't think you want to listen because you're not trying to. But as
Nope.
why
I'm
would they
listening to
bring
you,
out
man.
no? Why would they bring out Jane? Jane was sleeping with him up until the time he got arrested. She was on her way to sleep with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why he was still doing freak offs after the raid and stuff. That was
Because
dumb.
freak offs technically is not a crime.
No, it isn't. They
It's
trying to
not
make
a
it
crime.
right.
The only reason why this case is in here in the first place is because this. If you would have read all the other stuff, it simply says that. And I think Cino
Deal
read it.
started all
It
this.
said the reason why this case came about is because of that video. That's
So
why it
because
came
of
out
Gene
this video.
Deal, that's what
But
he said.
listen, you're not listening. You just need to be quiet for a minute because you ain't heard the first time. I
Yeah.
said the same thing. What's going on is this: the RICO case is here because of that video. However, when that video first shown, nobody knew it was in 2016. They thought it was at present time, but that video was in 2016. The statute of
Everybody
limitations.
knew that wasn't in present time because he wasn't with Cassie.
Cassie was doing pre-calls. Nobody. You can always go back to somebody.
Yeah,
Nobody.
He wasn't with Cassie in 2024.
You didn't know that he was. So listen again. Just chill out for a minute. He was with Cassie in 2021. The video was in 2016. People don't keep up with relationships. Everybody don't keep up with relationships. So second of all, the reason why they had to bring in Jane Doe is because, like Cino read yesterday or the other day, is that the judge, it says in that paperwork that this part right here is past the statute of limitation. But if you can find that crimes were committed after the statute of limitations, then you can consider Cassie's. So they did not find that he was continuously crimes after 2019 of this right here, of this RICO. Therefore, when it was found not guilty on that other stuff, therefore, it was going. They found Jane not guilty. Therefore, it's going to find Cassie not guilty. It's found not guilty on Cassie. There was no way they could bring in that arson or anything else. All of that stuff was past the statute. The statute. All of it.
Yeah, that was like 2013, 2014.
It doesn't matter. It was past the statute. I'm from California. Los Angeles. It was past the statute.
I'm giving you your props, ma'am. I'm giving you your props. Yeah.
We want you to silence.
I think Gene Deal started all this. That's before the Cassie tape came out. I think it was Gene Deal.
I think it was that other guy who did the lawsuit.
Oh, Little Rod.
Yeah.
Blackburn with Little Rod and all that, but all of this was
right.
Right, all of these people were
can
like,
we have names up so we can see who names?
They wanted to distract you with all these Tony Busby 100 lawsuits going on, so you could believe all of this was in the trial, but it backfired on them because when the trial actually got there and the jury got there, they thinking they're going to hear about little kids, underage stuff, then they're going to be watching celebrities on the video doing sexual acts. They didn't know that all of that stuff wasn't even there. This is just a whole tape of consensual couple having sex. But they started all of this stuff all down the line to try to paint it to make him look, and it should have been a mistrial for that because he couldn't get a fair trial. With all the public and everything going against him, with all this speculation on the internet and everything, the government used it, weaponized it. They weaponized the internet and they empowered people like Teaser Tales and all of these other YouTubers who was just putting this misinformation out every day.
All the dialogue.
I predict he's going to do at least 5 years. That's what I predict.
I did not.
You're
I
wrong.
think it'll be time served, or he might get probation for about a couple months, 6 months probation or something.
Yeah, they'll probably do time served and then probation for a few months or what have you.
Because he already served like what, 6 or 7 months? He's been locked up since September.
Because this is his first offense, and then he's gonna appeal it. down the road and get it removed from his record. And trust me, because this thing could get thrown out immediately. Because the thing is,
you think Trump will pardon him? You think Trump will pardon him?
You don't need to pardon him.
You don't need to pardon him.
You don't need to pardon him.
The number one of the number one mistakes in this whole trial was when they put Bono on the stand and committed perjury, and they knew that it was a lie.
Yeah,
that was one of the number one mistakes.
Oh, that was the one that should have.
That was the huge.
But this
it should have been a mistrial.
And Cassie is no victim at all.
Second year on the bench. He's only been on the bench 2 years, so he don't have any rep. So he's trying not to come in there.
But I don't agree with him beating on women though. I just can't. I can't rock with Diddy.
I got a rebuttal to that. Where was your concern when he hit the man with the kettlebell?
Yeah, I was saying that too. I was saying that with Steve Stout. You can't. You beat up some guy that don't even want no smoke with you.
No.
Like Steve Stout, he's a punk.
Not just women. I don't agree with him hitting.
No, Steve Stout.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah, I was with the Steve Stout thing.
Okay, do you know what happened there, right? Diddy got in an argument over something about his child.
No, I know why. I know what it is, but I'm just saying, I'm calling out the hypocrisy of people having sympathy for her, but not for the guy with the kettlebell.
I have sympathy for him too. Hey, I have sympathy for Steve Stout.
I would tell you, the guy with the kettlebell had it coming. The guy with the kettlebell had it coming.
Look,
hey, that was a
for you that brought up Steve Stout.
I was saying the Steve Stout video back in the day. I was saying the same thing.
Steve Stout deserved that ass whooping.
Steve
Stout deserved that ass whooping. Period.
Hold on, Trey. I'm saying that they're hypocritical because I know what he did. I know what the coach was wrong. But that don't mean you hit somebody with a kettlebell. That's still an assault. No matter how you feel about it, it's an assault. And a kettlebell.
He went to court over it.
I know. I'm on Diddy's side with that, but I'm calling out the hypocrisy with people having sympathy for her, but not the guy who got beaten with a kettlebell. It's like they're the same thing. They both got hit.
Well, let me tell you something.
They selective outrage.
First of all, this is a coach. First of all, Christian, let me ask you a question. This is a coach, okay? And the coach, and for the people out there that didn't know what happened, there was a coach. His son was on the team, and Diddy's out there watching.
The UCLA incident. I remember that.
Yeah, I know what happened.
He's chastised. I know you do. I'm saying for the chat. We have a chat.
Oh, yeah.
So right then and there, the Diddy comes over. He starts chastising his son. Diddy told him, like, hey, man, it ain't even that serious. You ain't got to try to break my son down. And he got real indignant with Diddy, giving him the hand like, hey, this is my show here. You stay there. You're a parent. You don't do that. So Diddy, they had it work.
Oh, no, you did the wrong thing.
Right. This coach was provoking the incidents. Like, I don't care who you are.
Come on, really, you too pro Diddy, Like, you don't hit the guy with a kettlebell, man. That was wrong, man. You showed the guy with the hands. You hit him with the hands, not a kettlebell.
I wouldn't hit the guy with the kettlebell.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Made him grab the kettlebell.
I'll tell you what. I had an AAU team, and these are teenagers. And if some of them referees got beat down for acting crazy with some of them kids, let alone the coach. People, we live in a soft world now. People are not playing with their children.
I'm on Diddy's side with that. I'm just saying.
Parents show up for their children at games now. When I was coming up, parents wasn't showing up at the games. And I'm just going to be real. Parents was not showing up at the games when I was growing up. These parents, they show up at these games now. So you're not going to be able to say anything to kids and disrespectful. And the parent is sitting right there in the crowd. They will stop a game to come and give a beat down.
They will. I grew up
What's
in
up,
that era
Trey?
too,
So
where
go
kids
ahead.
weren't
Tell
But
us
getting
you,
how
paid.
you.
but you can't get at the coach when your kid is
I
not that
knew he
good.
was. I knew he wasn't guilty. I knew he wasn't guilty from the beginning. Because I'm like, racketeering, trafficking.
Rico,
What? That don't even make no sense.
the
Right.
Rico thing
They
too.
wanted his
So
money.
Rico,
For one person was crazy. A Rico for one person always just was like, this is just ridiculous. There.
Yeah,
Right.
they wanted his
Well,
money.
well, they did it before with R. Kelly. I guess they thought they could do it
I know
again.
one thing. I know one
And
thing
that was
though.
crazy.
If I'm Diddy, the first thing I'm doing, soon as all this stuff get cleared up, Cassie, I'm suing your ass. Period. I'm
I think
suing
he's
you
just
too.
gonna leave
You
it
shouldn't
alone.
do that.
I think
No,
he's
leave
No,
gonna
you
that
leave
should
it
leave that
alone.
alone. Right.
alone.
Leave it alone.
Leave that alone. That
He's
is
gonna
Right.
leave
just
it
So they
alone.
had.
The
They
only
had.
thing I think
Okay, go ahead. You go ahead.
the only thing I think he gonna do is do an eviction over there at that 10,000 a month rent house.
oh yeah.
He gonna
Yeah.
have
Do
to
Oh
you
do an
yeah.
think,
eviction.
hey,
Oh yeah, he
Cino,
taking
do you
that.
think he'll come after 50 Cent for defamation?
Let him
Can
go
you
Do
home
you think?
to keep him at a rent house. There's no reason to keep him at a rent house because he's only got a bond. His bond should be less than $1 million. I mean, really, it's not even going to be that high. You can't even put it at 50 million no more. He's going to
Exactly
risk
the
the world
point. That was
and
my
harm
point.
Yeah,
anybody.
You can't.
$50
yeah,
That's
that's
million.
what.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what the judge denied before the trial. He denied his $50 million bail. He put up houses and
There
everything.
was
That
never a
was
$50
before
million
the
bail.
trial. This is after the trial. It's already over. So why would he be trying to get revenge on them for it? It's already over. So
And you know what? The $50 million was the price that came from Diddy, what he would do.
yeah,
There was never a $50 million bail. There's no such thing as a $50
Exactly.
million bail.
Exactly.
Ain't
It
right.
was
nobody.
it was what
I'm
he was
like
willing to
$50
do.
million bill. Like dog.
That's unconstitutional.
Right.
Jesus.
It
Lord.
was never, he said that he would put up
Lord.
that, and it was
Cino,
his
you got
house.
your verdict. You got your
We got
verdict,
to
Cino.
educate the youth.
Yeah, I
Hey
told you,
Diddy,
Mac.
man.
What's up,
Hey
Missile?
Diddy.
Yeah.
Hey Diddy.
All right, I'm
Yeah.
out.
Man.
What's
Hey,
up, Mac?
man.
Hey.
Hey,
What that fuck say? Can't stop, won't stop.
Oh, you don't need to say that no
Right.
more.
No, he can't say that no more.
I will stop. I
Hey,
can stop.
I will.
That should be a slogan.
hey, you see that Mac Missile hit us from the bathroom. He
hey y'all.
bathroom. He was happy.
He was
He
like,
had to
hold
get
up.
that off.
Right. He was like, hold up. My baby oil is right next to me. Let me move that from the camera.
No,
Let me move that real quick. I'm sorry,
What's
y'all.
up,
This baby oil
Davida?
is here.
I ain't seen you in a while.
It's been a minute. I hope all is well. I knew that this was gonna happen because, in my opinion,
pay the judge
there's
off,
gonna be
Cino.
some black women that's gonna be angry because at first, when she put that out there in 2023, she had all of us feeling sorry for her. But when these court documents hit, and when I read those text messages, it was very damning. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
she's a victim anymore. All
Yeah.
I've seen in this
No,
court case is a toxic relationship that went on for 15 years off and on. She was bought and paid for. She would never live that high life ever again.
Ever.
And she needs to be worried about that man she's married to. Cause she embarrassed that man she's married to. And she
yeah.
better hope he
Oof.
don't bit Britney Spears her. What do I mean by Britney Spears?
Oh, I know what you
You're
mean.
not capable of raising our children. I'm gonna take half of your money, Britney
What
Spears
Kevin
stuff.
Federline did to Britney Spears a couple years ago? Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He
As
can
So
he
do
you
that
should.
better
anyway because
hope.
don't they live in California?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can do.
Oh,
He don't even have to do that. He can just take half anyway. She got that money while they was together. He can do
So
it anyway.
yep.
right, I seen
Yep.
that happening
Cino,
for
this was
her.
a humiliation ritual played out
Yes,
right
it
It
Yeah,
was
there.
a
definitely was.
exactly
humiliation.
it was.
Yes, it
It
was.
was. That's all it was. It was a humiliation ritual. But here's the big kicker: for Cassie and where the government really screwed up. See, when they tried to paint her as a victim, they brought her in as she was pregnant. Diddy then wanted to delay the trial because she was getting ready to have birth. They wanted her to go have her baby first because they didn't want her coming in there showing her baby bump and getting sympathy from the jury. I mean, and yeah, from the jury and everything. So they were like, well, wait a minute. We don't want her to be in her condition and she's about to give birth. You know, let her go and, you know, and have her baby. Then we'll come back. Let's postpone it. So they wasn't nervous about postponing because they felt guilty. They was postponing because they wanted this thing, her pregnancy, let her go ahead, give her baby and all that. Then we get back to what we doing. Then they flipped the script. They said, no, we don't do it. So she came out, cried, played like she was the innocent victim, told her story, and everybody felt for her. The feds made a very big mistake. Comey, herself, and her arrogance, she showed that sex tape at near the end of the trial. And now you have all the text messages that Cassie was doing at that time. And then you watching her freaking off, and you seeing her get down. She's enjoying it. Cassie is throwing it back. She having the time of her life. And then you reading her text messages, the image that you had a month ago, because she was a month on the stand. You done forgot all that with the pregnant baby. Now you think of freak off Cassie. This is the Cassie you see now. So now the jury, man, they seeing her and for what she is. And they listen to her message. They was like, oh no. They was in a relationship.
I'm sorry. I can't.
No, she was with that. Right. Now the whole image.
I apologize. I'm so sorry.
You should have shown those things early. That's what you should have done. You shouldn't have waited to the end, like, oh, I'm wait, we're gonna hit them with the sex tape now. And that backfired on them. That backfired. Now you can't show the victim stuff no more. It's not working. They tried to shock them off and it backfired on them.
And you're right about that. So they showed the DV. They overshowed that DV tape. But you're absolutely correct. When they brought her on that stand pregnant, so they were able to get all of what they were going to get out of here. And then they gave it to the defense. Well, the defense is not going to go hard on a pregnant woman. It wouldn't even look good to do that. But they still tore her ass up on that stand. And then at the end, they showed the sex tape and then ended up stimulating a couple of the jury.
Yep.
They ended up stimulating like a couple of the jurors.
Yeah.
I can't make these jokes. I wanted to make that. Yeah,
Cassie thought as long as she was bending it over and spreading it wide for Diddy, he was going to keep her on his arm. And baby girl, it didn't work. He never would commit to you.
That's correct. And then also the other thing they wanted to do at the end also is bring it home by saying she had STDs, she had urinary tract infections and stuff. Well, I mean, as a woman, I don't know, I can't speak for a man, but as a woman, who in the hell want to be bending it over with a UTI?
Exactly. You ain't taking, she ain't taking care of herself. When I seen the apartment, she was living in Los Angeles, rent free, while he was paying everything. Girl, I mean, shook my head.
And then they understand they're crying and everything. And I'm saying, okay, I'm a woman. I don't agree with any domestic violence, but I have 4 sons. So I'm going to listen closely because I have 4 adult men sons. And I always tell these women, don't you put your hands on them, because when they tell you stop a few times and they end up back slapping you, don't come to me. Keep your hands to yourself.
Right.
But I don't agree with the domestic violence or anything like that. And for men or women, not men, but for women to think that a woman can't hurt a man, they need to look at the show Snap. They need to look at all kind of shows, because it's a whole lot of women that are executing men.
Right.
And doing all of that. But as far as I'm concerned, and I was raised by my dad, but when you do stupid stuff and then and he finds out about it and then you go back to it, he want to know why you keep going back.
Right.
You cannot say Stockholm. Right. You cannot say Stockholm because you've been with a person so long. Stockholm belongs to somebody got kidnapped. They in a basement, and that's Stockholm. Stockholm is being with a husband who is constantly beating on you, watching every move, locking you in the room, going to the store with a knife in your back as you over here cashing a check. That's Stockholm. You're already conditioned to him. But you actually going back and you over here and you're calling them out because you didn't get a Birkin bag. You didn't get no, that's not Stockholm.
Yeah.
But you know what did it for me? The assistant said, why don't you just leave him? When she had the nerve to say, well, Jay-Z's with someone who I'm going to date next. Like,
That's
really?
right. That is absolutely
So
right. And what did it
why
for me?
would you bring
Can you
Jay-Z in
repeat that,
this?
ma'am?
Jay-Z ain't
Can
got
you
shit to
repeat
do with
that what she
this.
said?
Huh?
Can you repeat that what she said for the viewers to say it again? Cause I don't think they felt you what you just
The
said.
assistant, there was a clip, the assistant of Diddy, they asked her on they said, the assistant had said on the stand when she told Cassie, why don't you just leave Diddy? Cassie told her, well, Jay-Z is with someone else who I'm going to date.
Right.
So basically, if you're a victim,
Huh?
why are you concerned about who you're
What?
going to be standing next
Right.
to?
And also, let's think about
No
Cassie's behavior. Cassie was with Ryan Leslie at age 18, 19. I believe he was probably with her at 17, but that's my belief.
Right.
Now, she didn't actually get with Diddy until she was like 21, turning 22 or something like that. I don't know. But either way, she was a grown woman. But Ryan Leslie was 10 years older.
Right.
Yeah.
So she was
Exactly.
already into that. And I like a lot of people say, oh, she he controlled her mind or he manipulated because she's so young. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Slap me through this phone if you want to. But a lot of times, a lot of behaviors that women make, they learn it from their own mothers.
Exactly. Pimp
They
them their
learn it
own
from their
daughters,
own
baby.
mothers.
Because the mothers are the pimps, unfortunately, in some neighborhoods.
Yes, or they learn it from the neighborhood, especially women you grow up to be women and they're from a single mom.
You was right on because her mother and them pimped her out into the modeling industry.
Right. They learn it,
Exactly.
and they learn it. Right. So I'll say I'm 61 and I know that behavior like it ain't nothing. But I was lucky enough to be raised by a mom and a dad. My dad was a police officer.
Yeah, he ain't play that.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Sino. Half the time my dad didn't know where we were. And that's the truth because he worked so much. I mean, I'm from Los Angeles. I'm neighborhood Crips. That's where I was raised.
Yeah, that's what Cassie did. She manipulates, like Kid Cudi said. She played me. She's somebody that gets off on drama. She needs that attention. She needs that thrill. So she used Kid Cudi, knowing that Diddy would find out and get mad and put up a fuss, and she always gonna run back to Diddy. And that's when Kid Cudi was like, she played me. And she's a player, she's a manipulator, and
she's definitely a manipulator. And
she did it to Diddy.
Right. And it's no way that she's afraid of him because when they asked her, do you love Sean Combs? And she was about to say, yeah, but she looked over at that husband and said, oh, I love what we had. If you didn't grape me, if you didn't beat me up, if you didn't did all these things to me, I don't like nothing we had.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I don't like it, so I definitely don't love it.
Exactly.
Man, boy,
and here's the bigger thing.
You got a song for this?
Yeah,
here's the bigger you no more. I just can't keep loving you no more.
It's the fact that
she more than I love myself.
She told so many inaccuracies in the whole stories that she was telling. She had so many inaccurate statements. Like she was trying to make herself look good in these situations. And they were saying, well, did you love her? Of course she did. And the husband found out about it. But he was just a convenience for her to an escape because she knew, like, I'm mad. And she thought that Diddy would come chase her again. And he didn't. He didn't chase her.
Right. Because a man on that level she couldn't bring nothing to the table but her looks and sexuality.
Yeah, he
Shit,
had
you
that
That's
saw
why
what
he
he
introduced
did.
never
her.
put a ring on it.
Prime example. You saw what he did when he was messing with Young Miami. She thought that she was finna marry this dude. This dude, the next week, he had another girl. It's like, wait a minute, what's going on?
But she
Right.
did a better job than I
Tells
think
all
Cassie
of
did
them
because
up
she played
front
her
that
position a
he
little bit
lives
better.
he has open relationships, and
No,
they
right.
he let them know that they're in an open
Yeah.
relationship.
But
Jane
you know
did.
Molly,
what? Young Miami was on that podcast. She was just kidding, and he was kidding too. He did. Young Miami don't want to get married. She said it straight up. I don't want to be
Yeah, she
married.
did.
She said I don't want to be married because the way I am, something happened. I'm gonna be packing my stuff up within the next 5 minutes. I'll be out of there. So I can't commit myself to that. That's exactly what she said. But people got it confused. She said, well, I feel like we go together. She didn't mean it like literally we go together. She understood the open relationship, and he understood that the reason why Jane was so pissed about that is because she felt like she was treated like the prostitute, right? She felt like that, and that Miami didn't because she got the Revolt TV podcast. She got all the cars. She got all that stuff. Okay, that's the reason why she was so pissed because Jane Doe, whatever her name is,
Jane Doe.
whatever
Jane,
her name is, uh, old girl, 50 girl,
Jane, we call her
she
Jane.
she felt like, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. She felt like I look like this, and you look at that. I'm just gonna say, it, and look how you look. You done picked up this little jigaboo. I look like this. Look at me, and you with this. But what they didn't realize is this: Diddy like black women.
Exactly.
He like look
And
at Kim
Young
Porter.
Miami is more talented too than that.
And also Young Miami had some. She brought a lot to the table. She didn't
right.
need Diddy
Exactly.
money.
Right. You just cost him money. The only
Yeah,
thing you good for is sex. That's it. That's all you bring
right.
to the table. So
And Young Miami probably wasn't stressing him out at all.
Yeah,
Right.
she brought ideas like a show, which he got on because that's what the new trend is, getting a podcast.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
she
Plus,
had
she was
ideas. So she
plus
brought something to the table.
already created a name outside of Diddy when she was
Right.
with the
We
City
know who
Girls.
she is. And the City
Right. So
Girls.
people know who she is, so she's already created a name. Nobody knows this chick that they just knew who her baby father was, and that's it. Nobody knew nothing about this girl. So
Nothing.
Right.
she was just out there, and she was, one of those situations. But see, Ryan Leslie, when he met Cassie, that's like Cassie. Cassie didn't sing. Cassie didn't know anything. He met her in a club, and they created a lie around the story. Like she was singing in a nightclub, and Ryan Leslie, that's not what happened. Ryan Leslie did an interview about 3 weeks ago and told the whole story. It was like she was dancing on a table, like it was her mother's birthday. She was dancing on the table, and he saw her. He was like coming up in the club, playing the music, watching the reaction of the people. He just saw her and was like, "Oh, she's cute," and all that. And went over and started talking to her. So
Mm-hmm.
from that moment on, she got up with him, and they started like hanging out and kicking it from there. And a couple of weeks later, they go to the studio. He brings her in the studio, and she wanted to make a song for her mother. She's like, "My mom want me to sing and all that." He was like, "Well, I'm gonna work with you. I'm gonna go in there." And they made a song, and she was like, "Oh, I want to go there and mix it and give it to my mom." So he goes and takes her to Tommy Mottola. That was Mariah Carey's ex-husband and the former president of Sony Records. So he went to Tommy Mottola's office, and Tommy said, "Who is this?" He thought he was bringing him an artist. He was like, "Oh, this is my girl." She was like, "Yeah, I want to just get this done so I can get this song to my mother." He's like, "This your artist?" He's like, "No, this is my girl." He's like, "She don't sing." Oh no. He grabs her by the arm, takes her into the office room, like the boardroom where everybody is. He's like, "This is our new office, our new artist, Cassie." And walked her around. And she just like, "Whoa." And he was like, either you sign this girl or I'm gonna sign her. So he was like, whoa, okay, wait a minute. Like Ryan Leslie wasn't even thinking. So he was like, all right. So he got his record label together and got his imprint so he could sign it. And instead of taking it to Tommy Mottola, Diddy, who he had to deal with, Diddy was like, whoa, bring her over here. I'll show you what to do. And we could bring her out as a solo artist. And I know how to, we'll both work on it. I'll come in with you. So she'll be bad boy. And we'll have a whole rollout for Cassie. She's this new pretty face. This is going to work. So she saw how Diddy was running the show. Diddy was flying him on his private plane. She wanted to be in that spot. She knew Ryan Leslie was just the worker. She was like, okay, I got to upgrade.
But it came with a cost, though, didn't it? And a lot of
it did. Yep. And now it came with a cost. But Cassie was a manipulator. That's what the jury saw. That was the main thing that hurt them, is that in all these cases, if you can't make her the scared and afraid woman she is, if she keeps going around doing the same thing over and over again, she keeps running off with other men. Michael B. Jordan. Nobody knew about the incident with Honey 3 over in South Africa. Diddy wasn't in South Africa. I showed people what was going on over there. She was over there being a little freak mama in South Africa. She took the black African girl, Sabo, who was on Power episode this season, the Raising Canaan. She was she played that record executive. She's actually from Zimbabwe. So this was about South African dance. The whole Honey 3 movie. Diddy had Cassie wanted to be the star of the movie, called Diddy. She wanted the role to just be a role or an actor in the movie. She wanted to be the star. So they took her and made her Cassie's friend in the movie. It was terrible. I said, wow, now you bring Cassie, who's not even African, put her in a movie in South Africa where she's going to learn South African dance and be the face of this movie. This is totally ruined the script. And I was like, if I was Sabo, I would have walked. But she did it. And I was like, she looks way better than Cassie. I was like, it's just colorism at its finest. And it was like, well, at its worst, rather, because that was awful. And I said it when the moment it happened. And she was messing around with that the doggone choreographer who was putting it on, was doing all the dances and stuff. And Michael B. Jordan was there too. So she was flirting with everybody. She is just a mess. That girl is just a freak bomb, and that's just all to it. She's a manipulator. She's a liar. You can't trust nothing. Diddy introduced me to oral. I didn't know what it was. It was confusing. I was like, everybody black.
I laughed on that part. I fell out laughing on that. I was like, what?
I thought I was confused. He introduced me to it. They even brought it up. The defense brought it up one time. Mr. Combs introduced you to oral, right? Okay.
But
you was with Ryan Leslie for 10 years.
Online.
You said what?
She's the laughing stock online right now because he beat that charge, man.
Well, yeah,
he beat that Rico.
Well, there was no Rico, so there was no way they could do that. It would
exactly. She's the laughing stock online.
Well, the thing is that the Rico case, that's the prosecution. The prosecution should be the laughing stock.
Yeah.
They put a liar on the stand. They put a couple of liars on the stand. And they knew they were lying. And what hurt them the most is those text messages. Tenny Garregos, you got to know your competition. You got to know who you're going against. You know Tenny Garregos is #1 in the United States of America in collecting of evidence. That's what she does. She goes through evidence with a fine point pen. And when you sit there and had these text messages and you did a summary chart and you left out messages that you didn't want the HSI guy to read out in court, what did you think Tenny Garregos was going to do? You thought it was slick that you took the emojis off of the messages? Like the emojis didn't mean anything?
That was surgical on that they did on that. That was surgical.
Yes, she did, because she said, is this in your summary chart? He's like, no. Can you please read it, please? And man, and when she started reading that, Cassie said, "I'm always ready to freak off." I said, "Wow, she said that." That's the whole case. I'm always ready to freak off. I said, "Oh well, that's it. I don't even know why we here. They can shut this down right now." And Jane, oh my God, she was so much of a freak. She wanted to get down with the sex worker just cause. She was like, "Look, can I see you again? I'm calling you." She calling him up. "What you cooking?" Oh, because he a chef too. He in there cooking. He's like, "Yeah, I'm cooking up this. Ooh, sound good. I think I can see it next week." What about Diddy? He might be there. It's like she don't give a damn about Diddy. As long as he paying the bill, she was like, "Hey, we gotta get up." So
I think when she got off that stand and she went and hugged Tenny, I think she was like, "Oh Lord, I know I just got cooked on this stand. I better go ahead and save face right now. I'm sorry, Diddy. I didn't mean to say all that."
yeah, then hug the defense. Who does
Yeah.
that? Them go and hug the defensive team's lawyers. I was like, where they do this at?
She was like, "Look."
What the hell you hugging them for?
Did you hear the bodyguard? He said he's scared for his life and he need to flee the country if Diddy gets out.
He is a joke.
They all was writing letters, Deontay and that. "Please don't let him out. Please don't let him." It was pathetic. I saw those letters. It was nonsense.
I want him to come home, be with his family, detox, because that jail food constipates you real bad. Like, he need to be home with his family and detox for real. And get right spiritually and leave non-Black women alone.
Yeah, I mean, I told people from the jump when this was first started and everybody didn't even know what I was talking about, I had the thumbnail made right there. Diddy Asian exes could be his downfall. I told people this in the early stages. It was all three of the Asian women. I said when he went all Asian, Diddy was like, "I'm going all Asian now." And when he started dating the all Asians, this other one that he's dating, she got his baby. They couldn't get her. Then they had Gina for a minute, and she fell in line. And then it was the only one left was that Daphne Joy. And I said, Diddy's Asian exes could be his downfall. Now this was early in the case before they even announced they had witnesses or anything. I said this and made the thumbnail, had it done up, knew what the situation was going to be because I know how Asian women are. They come from a culture of being submissive. That's why guys are more attracted to them. And they're like, "Yeah, I like Asian women." They're very submissive, but if they feel betrayed, if they feel like they've been used or anything, they get very angry and like their honor has been insulted. Then it becomes a whole different thing. They, unlike anybody else, they take that to the wall. And Daphne, she was violent with Diddy first. She hit him, ran his head into the marble, which I believe when she did that, she was already working with the feds.
Mm-hmm.
Because
they've been trying to get at him for years. I mean, we could go back to the 90s. They've been always trying to get at him. And he still beat them again. He beat them again. Now we got to go back when Johnny Cochran was alive. When that whole situation with Sean and Jennifer Lopez, he was not guilty on all those charges, and they embarrassed them in New York. They was embarrassed behind that they couldn't get him on that.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. They had his powerful lawyers did what they did, and they were.
Hold on, didn't he have Johnny Cochran during that time?
Yeah.
Oh man, he had Johnny Cochran. Now he would have been off for everything. He had Johnny Cochran.
Oh, Johnny would have wrapped this case up. Johnny been like, "You know this man, I know this man. This is Sean Diddy Combs. You know this man, I know this man. That is Sean.
But God is with us.
Fuck Daddy. This is the man that gives money to the communities. That's that man. You know this man. I know this man."
That's
Johnny
so
would have had
crazy.
this thing wrapped up, that jury been like that. Y'all convict this man. He'd have been talking every day outside the courtroom. He'd have been talking, he would have been hitting that stand as soon as he walked out the courtroom. Oh, this is a witch hunt.
Yeah, it's a rich hunt.
But that was
Somebody's
going on
next,
in
though.
there.
Somebody is next. I don't know who, but 50 should never try to kick at Diddy with this stuff. Because
Oh
what if
yeah,
it
that's
comes
what I'm
back on
saying. I
him?
tell you that. They after 50, Kanye, and they're definitely after Jay-Z, but Jay-Z can't get touched because he's protected by the NFL. So he's definitely not going to get touched in this situation.
Right.
But who's not protected? Kanye West and definitely 50 Cent. 50 Cent's causing too many waves and bringing a lot of attention this way. Plus, he got his own situations with Jane.
That's
So,
right.
and
I don't think
he's
they
got
gonna
to be
get
very
Kanye
careful with
because
that because she can pull the same old stuff with him too and have him right back in there. And they got a lot of cases with him in New York City. Is the reason he got out of New York City and moved to Houston. So that he can avoid New York law and what's going around with that. What's going on now? They can grab and rope him right up. I ain't want to bring it to the government's attention, but yeah, there's a lot of things they can use with him, with his situation, with the same thing she said about Diddy. Broke the door down, came in there, 911 was called, he took a plea deal. The whole thing is all documented. So, and she said it in a text message responding to what he called her, and he filed a defamation lawsuit against her to show that he wasn't playing when she said, "You R-worded me." And he filed a defamation lawsuit against her, but then he dismissed it. He did that publicly, and so everybody could see it, but quietly he dismissed it.
Yeah, he needs to hush up for real.
now with Kanye,
Exactly.
I just don't see them wasting taxpayers' money to try to get Kanye.
Exactly, right?
It's
Wasting
no
our
point.
time too.
Like what? Like if and then you to me, if even if they try to go after Kanye, they're still gonna lose because Kanye the situation. They don't even want to do that because they're gonna lose. Even if he's found guilty, he's gonna find a way to receive himself innocent, and then they're gonna have to eat their words on it. This a lose-lose situation. This a win for him either way. It don't even matter.
Kanye was the person that they were talking about at Vegas that she ran into and came up to her and said, "I always wanted to F you." When he was with his wife Bianca in Vegas. It was Kanye West and Jane went there to watch the sex worker that she liked, and he was performing, the one that goes by the name of Anton, and they was in a Vegas hotel. Diddy's not there. She's there on her own with Anton, and they're watching, and a bunch of celebrities are watching this go down as they're filming it because he's an adult film star too. So they're just watching him work, and they're all in the room, and he's there with Bianca, and Kanye turns to her and said, "I always wanted to F you," and she flashed them her boobs. Now, the fact that the judge would not let them name Kanye West. Kanye didn't care if they named him. That's why he was in town. If they'd have named him, he could have went and took the stand. But they couldn't.
Oh.
The judge said, about this judge is right. He said, well, that situation, that freak off that happened, it's not part of the case. So I can't. So if that incident happened, and it may have happened, but they were like, it tells more to the story. Another freak off, I think that's relevant to this case. Like if she's at another freak off without Diddy, that she's like, well, you could bring that up in your cross examination of Jane. But see, this is what was happening at the bench, and he said you could bring that. The judge said you could bring that up in the cross. Like I'll allow you to ask her about it, but I can't. I can't sit there and say she's got to say the person's name. We don't have to do that because that whoever that person was didn't, they're not a part of this case. That wasn't a part. That's a whole different thing.
Oh, Kanye wanted his name to be named. He wanted
yes,
that so
he did.
bad.
He was in town for 2 days. He wanted that name mentioned so
He
he
was
could come
at
in
court.
and take the stand. The defense would have called Kanye West to the stand if that would have happened. And
He would
Kanye
have
would have went
loved for
right on
that
that stand and
moment.
said, "You know what happened? You did more than flash me and Bianca. First of all, free Diddy."
They'd have had a recess, kicked
Oh
him
my God,
out.
he would have turned that into a circus.
That's why I said there's no point to even go after Kanye because they would have to hold him in contempt, dog. They would have to hold him, shut him
Oh yeah,
down.
he wouldn't be allowed in the courtroom no more. They'd be like, "Well, he can't be in
After
the
one
courtroom on
day,
his
after
own
2 days, it'd be gone.
trial." Yep. Just be like, "We're gonna
They'd
give
be
you
like,
one
you know
more
what?
warning,
We wasting
Mr.
taxpayers'
West."
money. That's a waste of taxpayers' money. That's a waste of a paper too. Just going to text time. Why? There's no point to even go after Kanye. Just let him make music and choose clothes and talk crazy occasionally on Twitter. Just let him have that. Just leave him alone.
All right. Well, I want to thank all y'all for coming up, man. We're gonna talk later. I gotta get out of here, get something to eat. I haven't eaten anything all day. I'm over here starving. So, yeah. So we might be back to talk later on tonight about the Knicks getting Mike Brown. I was right
No one
again.
cares about that.
So,
It's about
yeah,
DeAndre
no, I
Ayton.
was right again. So tell LB when he laughed when I said it was gonna be either him or Luke Walton. He was like, "Now, Arcino, are you saying you guaranteeing?" And I said it's gonna be either one of these two. So now it's Mike Brown. The only obvious choice there was the angry man. Oh,
Right,
this is
that was the
good.
only right choice. Honestly,
He's a Knicks coach because he gonna cuss out Brunson, and I'm gonna love it. Cuss him right out. So
well,
yeah,
I
we'll be
think the
back later on.
Ayton deal
Probably
is
talk
better
about
than that. So
yeah, DeAndre Ayton going to the Lakers. I'm so happy. I don't know what to do. So because that's gonna blow up in their face. It's gonna be
because
epic.
Braun in the way, so yeah.
Oh yeah, they just got gotta blame everything on DeAndre Ayton. So yeah, it's
They
gonna be
gonna
good.
they gonna unalive him.
Oh man, but yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank all y'all coming up, Miss Sutton, Davita, Christian, and the man who didn't talk, MW.
Oh, what was his name?
That was Reek who came up here, kept cutting everybody off. That was Reek.
Oh,
He does that
okay.
all the time. No, MW up here, he say that. But yeah,
Oh,
Reek come
okay.
up here. He's just a troll. That's all Reek come up here to do
Yeah.
is troll. Because I'm like, ain't no way in the world you can't hear what she's saying and process it. He's the type to hear what you say and just still say the same thing. He does not process the information.
His
Those
mind is
people,
tunnel vision. He has a tunnel
yeah,
vision mind.
they just wait for their turn to talk. They don't listen. The words don't penetrate. It's like we just said that. He's like, yeah, I know, but he gonna get 50 years. They can't give him 50 years. Yeah, I know what you're saying. The law and everything, the statute, the most he get that. I think they finna give him 50 years. I'm like, hold on, man. The judge can't do that. Oh, yeah, well, this judge don't like him. This is gonna be a new time. He gonna give him 50 years.
And the bill is set at $50 billion. That's what it said at.
Oh Lord. Well, thank you for having me up. And if everybody say a prayer, say a prayer for Diddy for God to send him home to his family.
Amen.
Do.
I do. This is
All
too
right,
much,
y'all.
man.
Good night.
All right.
Y'all
Thank
have a
you.
good night.